Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studio in Cumming, Georgia, it's time for Forsyth Business Radio.
All right, and welcome back, friends, to another exciting episode of Forsyth Business Radio. I am your host, Amanda Pierce, and today is a day for celebration because we are in the company of two local gentlemen who put on one of the most exciting festivals of the year. If you're unfamiliar with the Greek Fest, they are celebrating their 20th anniversary this year in October. I'm excited to welcome our guest today, Dino Georgis. He is with Giorgio's Family Kitchen. He's going to tell us all about that. And then also my longtime friend, Costa Bizzuto, who is a financial advisor and also the chairperson for the Greek Fest. And I will let them tell you all about the fun that we have planned for this festival. But welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thanks, Amanda. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Thank you.
All right. So who wants to give us a brief synopsis of the festival before we get into all the fun details?
I guess I can. So this is the Cumming Greek Festival. It has been, like I said, 20 years. I've worked on 19 of the 20. It is a fundraiser for our church, but more importantly, it's to build community relations. It is the second largest gathering in Forsyth County outside of the fair. We are 3 days, October 18th, 19th, and 20th. We are open on Friday from 3 to 9. Saturday, we have new hours. We're going to be open from 11 to 10. We're opening it 1 extra hour, and there is a reason why, and I'll save that for later. And then on Sunday, it's noon to 5. And the biggest thing about it is we decided as a whole to remove the admission charge, so it's free to come in. We have parking on site, which is free to park. We really do highlight the fact that we are more than just the great food, the great pastries, and the great band and the great entertainment. We have our church tours, which has been very successful for people to understand the Orthodox Christian religion that we do promote on Greek Orthodoxy. So,
for those of you joining us that are unfamiliar with the Orthodox that he's mentioning, it is hosted at St. Raphael, Nicholas, and Irene Greek Orthodox Church here in Cumming.
Yep, right off of Bethelview Road. And so the good part is we make all our own food. We have a bakery that starts in the end of July, so we prep it cold, freeze it, and then as of yesterday started baking, setting, cutting, and all of the pastries. We cook all of our lamb shanks and chicken, which is my gentleman here, friend to the right of me, who does all of the work. And lamb shank chickens, gyros, chicken gyros, spanakopita, pasticcio, moussaka. We have an extensive menu, and it takes literally 45 people to run our kitchen. So everybody that comes out and works our festival, from the baklava sundae to the pastries to the kitchen tent, they're all volunteers. We get an amazing level of volunteerism from our parish. We really do take care of the community and make it free to come in. Of course, you have to buy your food. But we have a band that's going to be out, the Costa Costanis band, and we're going to have a special singer flying in from New York. Her name is Mina Carreras, and she is going to be flying in from New York and singing the whole festival as well. Our children dance, so all from our elementary school all the way to high school, and even our young adults, they are going to be dancing on the dance floor, and we do welcome people to come out and dance with us once the show is kind of over. It is not an exclusive place the dance floor is, and so we just have a good time, promote orthodoxy, promote the fact that, and I've really been harping on this, when you come out to the festival, you're not a customer, you're not a client, you're one of our guests. We want to really welcome you as a guest of Forsyth County and the community. We also have we're giving to charity between Family Promise of Forsyth County, the Caps for Kids program, and the Fireman's Fund. And there's one other one that we can talk about in a little bit. So
it truly is a beautiful culmination of community, connectivity, and also culture. So bringing Dino into the conversation, who spearheads all of the yummy things there, but who is also a parishioner, and I'd venture to say by your name, your heritage might be that of Greek descent.
It is.
Okay.
It's a good guess.
So
yes.
Tell us about your restaurant. Tell us about your involvement with the festival.
Yeah. So I was involved, I think I came on like 3 years ago. Maybe this is my third year. 4 years ago, but this is my third year running the kitchen. So my expertise in that came from running my family's business here in Cumming, Giorgio's Family Kitchen. And we've been open since 1991. My parents, Dimitri and Eleni, started that. I was 9 years old when we opened. And this community is special to me for many reasons. It gave my family an opportunity to thrive. We moved here from Gwinnett County, and my dad had the foresight to see that Forsyth County was going to be the place to be. So he moved us up here, and at the time we all came kicking and screaming because nobody knew what Forsyth County was back then, but he did. And so since then, the community has literally supported us. It's a pleasure to be able to serve this community, especially through all of the economies that we've seen over the past 30 something years, and just to have that support. So that's kind of where my background comes from, and I've used that experience to do what I can with the Greek Festival. And I think we had our most successful festival last year. I'm not taking credit for that. I'm just saying that was a part of.
We'll have to compare that to this year.
Yes, we do have a bar. It's been set, so we're constantly trying to break through that. So, but yeah, that's the background. And Giorgio's Family Kitchen is just that. It's a family kitchen. We cater to families, just like the Greek Festival does. I've got 2 kids, and I know that when you're looking at things to do with your family, there's so many variables involved. The Greek Festival is probably the easiest thing that you could do. You could go there. It's like I said, free parking, free admission. It's like a big family gathering, and everybody that comes there says that, whether they're Greek or not. They're like, this is just like a family reunion. It's outside. The weather's great. The food is great. The music's great. There's drinks. There's educational stuff. It's just a great opportunity to bring families together to celebrate the church and celebrate the community.
To me, from somebody who's not Orthodox and not Greek, experiencing the festival was kind of like like you were a guided tour almost. Like I was experiencing the culture in all different ways through every single one of my senses, through food, through sound, through sight, through smell. And the feeling that you described is so true. You just feel so warm and welcome, like you're really just having dinner, or you're at a party with your friends. So I can attest to that welcoming feeling that you guys put out.
And I have families that have come to the festival, and because it's a free entry, and we also have a drive-through that we run at the same time as the festival, they have made it their weekend plans to spend the whole weekend with us as a guest. So I have people that come through the drive-thru and they're talking to me as they're picking up their food going, we'll see you tomorrow. We're coming back. We're going to sit down and actually enjoy ourselves. And then whatever they say, whatever's left over on Sunday, we're going to get the rest of it. I have families that truly make it a point to eat every single item on the menu.
Because you don't get it all the time. It's like people wait for it. We're broadcasting from the Chamber of Commerce here in Cumming. And before the show, I walked past a gal who asked who was in studio, and I mentioned Greek Fest. She's already got on her calendar. She said she and her family look forward to it every year. Yeah. So people in the community, there's a buzz, there's a rave about it. And I wish Cameron were here to share that infusion of how others are reached by the festival, and also through streams like this, and are brought to the church and brought to faith, which is even more of a beautiful component to it. Go ahead.
Well, the biggest thing about Cameron, and I do wish he was here.
Shout out to Mr. Marmolejo.
Woo woo. Cameron is a byproduct of the fact of the festival. He discovered us through actually a
podcast from Father Barnabas.
Yeah. And he came out and visited and has become one of our top parishioners. Then we get to meet you because you have been coming out and been part of our family now. So we view our parish as a parish family. It's not truly like just go to church, rock and roll. Like I know Dino and I have been friends for years. His wife is absolutely amazing. She's helped our kids learn how to Greek dance. And she's not Greek. But she is absolutely a professional at teaching the dance steps and everything. Dino's mom and dad are founding members of our church. Wow. We have so much to thank them and the other people that started the church over 30 years ago, and what they have done in the foresight as not just the restaurant at Giorgio's, but to get Saints Raphael, Nicholas, and Irene off the ground through their hard work and their dedication and their love for the Greek Orthodox faith. I can't tell us enough. I can't say enough to the level of appreciation for Dimitri and Eleni, to all the other founding members of our church, and we just want to make them proud.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Speak to that, Dino, because we have rich heritage and a unique opportunity to speak to you as your family. I'll let you take it from here. Gifted or donated the land.
It's really interesting because, when my parents were purchasing the land, I think I was in high school. I didn't really pay any attention to it. I'm like, okay, cool. And my mom was always like, my dream is to start a church so that I can watch my grandkids thrive and grow up. And again, I was in high school, so I just laughed that off. I'm like, I'm never having kids. I'm never getting married. Like, good luck with that. Fast forward now, I think it was a year ago, maybe it was two Greek festivals ago. They all kind of run together. I was at one point, I turned around, and it was my mom, my dad in the kitchen, my wife, my kids were running gyros back and forth. And I just it hit me all at once. Like, this is literally my mom and my dad's dream since I was in high school, and it came true. And sometimes you get there and you don't realize how you did get. How did we get this far? And you look back and you're like, all those steps, all those sacrifices, all those battles over. Anytime you're trying to create something, it's always it's a process. So they went through all of that, and now for them to be able to sit back and see their grandkids running around and enjoying themselves. It's amazing. It's such a cool experience.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And while we're on the topic of the church, it is nestled off Bethelview in Cumming.
It's on Bethelview Road, 3074 Bethelview Road. It's between Georgia 20 and Kelly Mill Road. If you come out that way during that weekend, we are going to really mess up traffic. So you might as well stop and have a gyro and hang out with us for a little bit, because if you're coming from 400 on towards 20, you're going to have to do a quick U-turn. The police officers are going to be there from the sheriff's department, and you come in the secondary entrance because it gives us the biggest easement to the back parking deck. And then if there's going to be somebody sitting, if you want to just do drive-through, you turn right as opposed to go park, and you can come through. And you'll have our main menu for drive-through outside of our Loukoumades, which we can only serve on site, and no drinks. So other than that, we have a full complement, and pastries can be done in the drive-through as well, which I have to tell you, with the way Eleni McCart and her baking team have been doing. Oh my gosh!
Taste the love.
And I walked into our Parish Life Center at the church last night, and the first time they started baking everything, and it smells like honey and goodness and heaven as you walk into the place. And I think your mom was actually texting me, actually showing me while they were doing, and I was like, can I just take one of those pans with me?
Yeah.
And she might not like me after that. But
the level of self-control needed to work in that department.
It's ridiculous.
I have to know now, because we have maybe the keys to the secret, recipe here. I know you can't give away all of the Georgia's family secrets, but do tell me, what is a key, component? What makes a successful baklava? Because other than phyllo dough, I couldn't tell you what goes in it. Honey. That's all I know. I love the nuts,
so it's
pecans.
Phyllo dough, the nuts. Some people put pistachios. Some people put almonds. My grandmother actually put a collection of 3 different nuts inside of it. But we keep a pretty standard, fair recipe, because 1, for 20 years it hasn't failed.
Right.
And for 2, it makes it consistent all the way through. We bake 205 pans of baklava for the festival. And then
5.
I don't know.
What's the 5? 200. I'm like 205.
205.
That's a very specific number.
Believe me, Eleni McCart is the one that leads our baking efforts. Her and Leah Cumbiedas, they do all of the baking lead. And in doing so, they have the numbers pretty specified. 9,000 Koulourakya cookies. They're the butter braided cookies. But what's really fascinating is that we rent now ice cream machines. So we make our own ice cream, and we make baklava sundaes from the internal baklava. Yes, so it's nuts,
crispy, yummy,
honey, and crispy phyllo dough on top of that. So you're going to get a baklava sundae as well as the variety packs or anything in that manner. We have a kafanian. My wife, actually, Carolyn, makes the dough for what's called a loukoumades, and it's something that's very different that most people aren't used to. It is a fried dough ball, but it doesn't have eggs. It's just yeast. So it's very light and fluffy. and she makes it on site in our Paris Life Center. So we keep all safe space on making it.
Wow.
But
All
she
fresh
does
right there.
She makes it there.
With honey and cinnamon on top. It is like a Greek coffee with it.
I've never had Greek coffee.
It's strong.
It's
delicious.
strong.
I like espresso. I like
And
Italian coffee.
And what's funny is Dino is right. It was and I know the point because I was standing next to you when I saw your wife and mom and dad and your kids in the kitchen, and I had that same moment. My daughter has been working the festival since she's been really young. My daughter works 22 hours making frappes and dancing at the same time. So she's the lead frappe maker, and she's only 14 years old.
22 hours. Wow,
She works
that's
bell up.
dedication.
Well, she works bell up to bell down. So she goes, my dad runs it. I got to be there. But it's really fun. I have a tradition that I do with her so anybody that knows me on my Facebook page, the day I leave for the festival, I always take a picture of my Greek fisherman's hat with her. And I have one ever since she's been 6 years old. And I post each one in succession on the post as I leave for the Greek festival that Friday morning. And it really is amazing to see where we have come from and what the festival mixed with our church has really become over the last 20 years of our lives. And
Transformative.
it has been. And it's been transformative in the community too. What we do with the festival and how community driven it has been for Forsyth County is something that nobody ever thought would get there. I mean, we started the festival. The first festival was on the front lawn of our caretaker house there. We had one guy as our band. He was on an 8x8 little slab. I think, had only like 300 souvlaki sticks sold. I mean, it was small. And to be where we're at today, I mean, last year we sold over 3,300 euros.
Wow.
Almost 600 lamb shank dinners.
Those are big. Those shanks are big.
And the lamb shanks, I will put them up against any meal in Forsyth County as just top notch. It's because the secret ingredient, I think, is just the dedication and the love people put into the cooking, the prepping, the smiles that everybody gets when they get their food. I tell everybody, you welcome our guests, thank them for being here, ask them to join the church tour because that is really the heart and soul of the festival. But enjoy yourself. Come out, enjoy. There's going to be vendors, so we're going to have shopping. Cool. We'll have a little bit of a kids area too, so we'll have that. And it's on grass, not on a concrete, so where it's not going to, it's feels like Dino said earlier, it's a backyard barbecue. And we have a lot of tables and chairs, and it's just a fun experience to bring everybody together in a family environment. And it's going to go late on Saturday night because we have one cool addition that goes on our anniversary. We're going to have a fireworks show Saturday night. So come out early. We're also going to have a very nice addition to our menu starting at about 7:00 Saturday night. We're going to have Greek wings in preparation for the fireworks.
What make the wings Greek?
The spice.
The spicing and the seasoning.
Yeah, it's like it's like lemon. It's got some oregano. It's delicious. And the same spices we use for our Greek wedge fries, which are just they're so dangerous because like they'll literally come out of the deep fryer and the fry station is just. It's dangerous. You can't man it for too long because it's
just sprinkling the dust on and
and then the dipping with the wings is going to be a feta dipping sauce too. So it's so
now, did
good.
you create these? Did you guys come up with this for the festival?
We have another Johnny Meltz who works at another restaurant in Gwinnett County. This is some of his recipes too. We have several restaurants represented in our festival. Nito's Cafe, Athens Cuisina. We have Giorgio's, of course, is our main one. So we got people that know what they're doing. You don't want me cooking. I put the right people in place and then let them do their job because they really do know what they're doing. And the food is exceptional.
We can be the taste testers.
I'm the taste tester every year, and it hits right in the center point. And the main question I always get from people that come and visit, they go, where is your restaurant? I'm like, outside of Giorgio's, we're not an actual restaurant.
Right.
And people don't believe the fact that we get together as a community, as volunteers one time a year to give this level of food and this level of service. And it is true. We are a community. We are a church that only comes together 3 days out of the year to put together some of the best food and the best time you'll have for a 3-day weekend.
For those of you just joining us, we are talking about the Greek Festival here in Cumming, Georgia, and they're celebrating their 20th anniversary this year. If you'd like to learn more about the Greek Festival, you can visit the Facebook page, and you can also go to, what's the website?
It is CummingGreekFestival.com. We've updated it so you can see what we're doing for the festival coming up.
Wonderful. And that is on October 18th, 19th, and 20th. I know I'm excited to see the dancers, hear the singer that you mentioned, try the Luca Madres, and also some of the baklava. What are you most looking forward to, Dino? I mean, you're not going to get to take it all in because you're going to be sweating and
I'm looking forward to the Monday.
The Monday after.
No, honestly, I like the challenge. I really do. I've been in the restaurant business since I was 9 years old. And my dad started that business. My mom and dad started that business. So when I inherited it, I was very familiar with it. When I came 4 years ago and volunteered with the festival, and then was recruited to run it the next year, it was just a challenge. I said, I've done this one way. Let me see if I can do it another way. And like Costa was saying, it's the largest pop-up kitchen in the county. Like, it's insane. We literally just have a blank slate, and they said, hey, what do you need? And I'm like, okay, I need a walk-in cooler, a walk-in freezer. I need a dishwasher. I need a cooking pavilion. And they're like, whatever. And they built it, delivered it. And now we have what I believe is an amazing, well-oiled machine, to the point where it's like, you look back on 3 days worth of sales and you're like, oh, we only had 2 lamb shanks returned. We sold 600 of them. That's a pretty successful, percentage, just across the board, so people are very, very happy. Some of the things that I think that we should point out are the waits. Like, we don't have, like, you would imagine, oh God, this is going to be a huge festival. I'm going to be waiting in line, everything. It's not like that. We're super efficient. We've gotten really good at making sure that you get there, you can place your order, you're sitting down within 30 minutes, eating your food. It's very shaded. It's very nicely shaded, which I think is, if you're a Southerner, that's important to understand. Like, it's all under the tree. So it's a really comfortable environment. And I think that really kind of caters to having people stick around, have an extra glass of wine, mingle, because you're sharing tables with people, so your conversations are just kind of flowing. And if you really like the food and you want more of it for free, you can always come up to me and ask me to help if you need help, and I'd gladly put you to work and I'll feed you for it. So that
brings me to my next point. So it takes a village to put on this much of a party. So you were talking about all the voluntary effort for those looking to get involved or maybe enjoy some Greek food on the house for their labor. How can people learn about volunteering? Is it too late to volunteer this year, or can they sign up already for next year?
If they want to sign up, they can get in touch with me somehow, some way. I have told everybody I'm not going to really have a sign-up sheet for volunteers because I want people to show up. I want people there longer than just a 4-hour shift at some place it's not meaningful. I want people to really come out and really help, because if the more volunteers I have, the more breaks I can give people to sit down. I have 70-year-old people that don't sit down for 3 days. I feel so bad to have them standing, and there's no way to sit when you do that level of production. I mean, we do more in 1 hour than most restaurants do in a day. I mean, you have no idea the level of production that we have to get done. It's 45 people that come into our kitchen just to get your food out on time. But yes, we only, like Dino's absolutely correct, 30 minutes to come in, get your food, sit down. We have a taverna also, and one thing that I like to point out is we do have TVs that are in the taverna, so we do put on football games so people can watch the games as they're there, have a nice beverage of a frosty nature. We're going to have a special drink this year. It's going to be an ouzo lemonade served out of our new souvenir cups that we're going to have. So that's a little something different for the taverna menu. And we're going to have T-shirts at the front that are going to have our 20th anniversary logo on it. So they're going to be special from every year. But if you come to me and if you come to the kitchen and ask for Costa and you want to work, I will put you to work, and you get a free apron on top of it. So that says the Cumming Greek Festival logo on it. So nice. We like to entice people.
Hey,
but
with merch.
With merch, our Boy Scouts, I talked to them yesterday. We have a Boy Scout troop that's connected to our church. I got them. to come out, and the most tedious thing I can get them to do, and they are volunteering to do it. You will love that they're going to scoop out all of the salad dressings and the tzatziki's into the little buckets, because the salad dressing that Giorgio's makes is phenomenal. And it's great because they put it in the containers, and it's easy in, easy out, and it goes it goes very well. So
I think that's the key. I think when you ask about how to volunteer, being that it's free parking and it's free admission, just come. And when you show up, you can walk up to the front, you can walk around to the kitchen and just say, hey, I'm here to help. And there will be not a single person will tell you no. They will grab you and pull you in.
And embrace you.
And embrace you and hug you and thank you. Regardless of your background, it doesn't matter. And the beauty of the volunteering for us is we've had to look at this knowing that not everybody is a restaurateur, not everybody is a chef, not everybody is. So everything is broken down in the assembly line. I had a family come last year from my kids' school. They showed up on, I believe it was Saturday morning, and they're the husband and wife, and they had 4 kids. They came eager to help. They said, what can I do? And I was like, okay, so you guys, I need Greek salads. So I expected them to be there for like 45 minutes. I was forcing them to leave. I'm like, you guys have to leave. You've been here all day. They made probably 1,000 Greek salads for me and saved like the weekend, because once you have that prepped, you're done and you can move on to the next thing. But it was all about the assembly line, and you're the tomato guy, you're the feta girl, you're the Greek olives person, and you pass that down, and that's it. So it's very simple and very easily, it's very organized to volunteer. Don't be intimidated. Like I said, just mention the word volunteer and you will be sucked into the kitchen immediately.
One thing, I'm going to throw you guys for a loop if you're okay on time.
Yeah.
To me, one thing that stands out so tremendously about speaking with both of you is the amount of legacy that we have sitting here in this room. And then also the legacy that you're creating for your children, for your daughter, not only through the church, but through your businesses and through your service. So I don't know if you guys have thought about that, but it's something that's on my mind, and it's something that you guys are going to be able to look back on in years to come. You're seated 19 years in service, okay, on the 20th anniversary. Out of the 19 years that you served and the 20 years that have elapsed, what is one of the most memorable things?
I can safely say that I was part of actually the first Greek Festival planning meeting. Our first chairperson is my daughter's godmother. Her name is Laura Kafalis. She is the crazy person that started this whole thing off, and she's put the bones in place for what we've grown to. So I cannot even remotely take credit for anything more than what Laura started. So my legacy, though, is Laura and I were in the first Greek Festival meeting with a collection of people. And she asked me she was like, oh, Costa, I was a little newer to the church back then. And she asked if I was dating anyone. And I went, no. She said, I just met up with someone I used to work with, and I think you two would be great. And can I give her your phone number? I was like, well, sure. Lo and behold, I got put on a blind date with my now wife. So my legacy of the Greek Festival is a fact. And the reason why I couldn't work that first Greek Festival, even though I planned everything and helped put all of it together, it was my grandmother's 1-year memorial in Virginia, and my wife got to meet my parents for the first time on that October. So that was my legacy. Now I see everything. My daughter has grown into the dancing. What we've done is monumental, but honestly, if it wasn't for the Greek Festival planning meeting and getting to meet people more than just going to church. And I explain, when you are a new steward of our church and you're new to our church, the only way to really meet people is not the 2 hours you're at church and the 15 minutes over a cup of coffee and you're like, okay, peace out. It really is. There is nothing better at building a relationship than slinging euros with somebody for 8 hours. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you don't have to work. By the way, you don't have to work 8 hours. Don't scare anybody.
We'll take 2.
I'll take 2. But what Dina was saying about the family that came last year, I could have hugged their neck all day, because they did something out of the kindness and lovingness out of their heart to help us, and their kids were into it. Their one daughter was the same age as my daughter. I had them introduce each other, and they went out and worked at the festival. I have other families that I've known over years. They come out. People want to help. They want to give of their heart, and they know that we're in the right place for that. And that's where I think, what Dino and I have tried to project, and everybody that has run this church, the festival from day one, from Laura all the way through the David Chapmans and Johnny Meltzes. And I know all these names don't mean anything to people, but they mean a lot to me. They're going to give something back to the community that is unmeasurable. So
that people will remember for years. It brings people from far and wide, and it is a great cultivator of love in our community.
Yeah, I agree. Legacy for me, legacy is different for me. I haven't always viewed legacy. I've come into my definition of legacy since I became a father. My daughter's 10, my son is 7. I realized pretty early that like my legacy is them. Who they are in society is my legacy. People will view them and realize, okay, I might not know who their father is, but I know that they had a good father. They had somebody that guided them. So that's always in the back of my head. So by volunteering, by showing them that, sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do necessarily, that you're not going to get paid to do, that go unnoticed by a lot of people, that you're building, hopefully I'm building an idea in their heads of what it takes to be a good member of society. And I am by no means a good, perfect member of society. I'm just saying I'm trying to set the example for my children. So my legacy is them. So maybe one day my son will decide that he wants to chair the kitchen or my daughter.
There I see the next generation already between you guys.
And so that's legacy. I think that's it's passing that torch that way.
And also one thing on legacy, and I want to go back to your parents too. We were given an opportunity by his parents and the people that founded our church to take this and really do the right thing by God and by what their efforts were. If you look at, we are on 16 acres of land now where they started us with a smaller amount, and we've grown it and raised money, and we're in the process of raising money now for a capital campaign to truly build a multi-purpose building on property, which we'd love to have everybody help us with. But the biggest thing is that if you look at what they have sacrificed, their blood, sweat, and tears to get this up and running to now where we are, we would do them a disservice if we weren't giving it our best, giving it our all. And this festival is just a part of what we're trying to accomplish with that. So I look at the legacy of the Panos families and the Georges families and the Lytle families and those people that have really come out of and gave us the opportunity to have this property. And, we have a gift shop, the Mary Milam gift shop. That is one of our founding members also. She passed away years ago, but we named it after her because she was very adamant that we sell and have icons and books and things that are orthodoxy focused. So those are the things that we really need to focus on and we need to do right by them.
Yeah.
If anybody's listening and they're just at all curious, as I was, if you're not Orthodox, you're still welcome. Just give Costa or Dino a shout, or furthermore, just stop by SRNI. That's short for Saints Raphael, Nicholas, and Irene. Very welcoming. It is a full sensory experience. I'll say the incense I very much enjoy. I grew up Episcopalian, so the style of service is familiar to me. But do not be scared of the unknown. Simply walk in and make some new friends. I would like to go back to the story, Dino, really quickly. Let me give your restaurant a shout out.
Sure.
So if you've never been there, which I haven't, so I'm going to have to go see what you're all about. They're in the Lakeland Plaza in Cumming.
Yep.
So you can also just find them online at
eatatgeorgios.com.
eatatgeorgios.com.
Do you remember that old cartoon where the guy would walk around with the sign on it that said "Eat at something"?
No,
I don't know.
It's Eat at Moe's.
Yeah, it was Eat at Moe's. It was the guy that used to walk around in the Warner Brothers cartoon, and it was literally like when we were trying to come up with a website name, it was like the most. It just popped in my head.
Eat at Georgia's. You said there was a funny story about how your restaurant was named, and I'm very curious if you'd share.
So. My last name is Georges. It's spelled Tzortzis. So I'm 43 now, so I cannot remember I can remember a single time in my life that someone has got that right that wasn't related to me. So if you were in elementary school and the teacher was calling the roll and she got to the S's and she just paused, I knew that was me, so I just raised my hand. I was like, I know you're looking for me. So I always make a little joke about it when I would meet somebody or I'm on the phone giving my name and my address. I would always say, how do you think that's pronounced? And I'll give you $100 if you get it right. So I think it was like a year ago, I was on the phone with Verizon Business, like just having the worst day because the internet was down. And this guy picks up the phone and he's all nice. And he's like, "Oh, Mr. Georges, how are you doing today?" And I was like, "What did you just say?" He's like, "Mr. Georges." And I was like, "Are you Greek?" He's like, "No." And I was like, "How do you know that?" He's like, "I just like hard words."
Wow. He won $100.
Yeah. So he totally nailed it. We had a good laugh about that. But the name of our restaurant is Giorgio's, but it's spelled Giorgios as opposed to the TZ, which makes a G sound in the Greek language. So
You Americanized it.
we did. We did. It had to make sense. Like we moved. I think we opened up in 1991. So demographically, this county was completely different. It's changed a lot, and so the palette was different. The menu was different, and we've grown into a full service family kitchen. So I can honestly say, like, and this is no joke, we have some of the best wings in the county. And I know that because everybody that tries them is like, I did not expect their wings to be that good. That was incredible. So we'll do great wings. We do burgers, we do pizzas, pastas, Greek food. So, we have a really wide menu, but I think we're really good at what we do. Mm-hmm. We hit those items really well. So the last name is spelled Tzortzis, but it's pronounced Georges.
And he challenged me with that, folks. When I first met him, he asked me to say it, and I didn't get it.
You gave me the answer that I've always gotten. It was good.
It's a challenge, I'll say. Well, gentlemen, I've had great fun with you. I want to make sure we hit all key points for our listeners about the festival. Why don't you give us the 30-second wrap-up?
30-second wrap-up is the festival starts Friday from 3 to 5 at October 18th, 19th, and 20th. And the one thing about the drive-thru, will close at 8 o'clock on Friday and Saturday, so that way we can keep things rolling a little bit. Saturday night, fireworks, and every day the kitchen will be open Friday, Saturday, Sunday until we run out of food, which hopefully is not till 5 o'clock on Sunday. Baklava, pastries, everything to go is always there. Baklava Sunday, live band, free to enter, free to park. And the one thing that we're going to do this year to help out our brothers and sisters in Asheville, North Carolina, is we're putting together a hurricane relief way for people who want to come on property. And as you're buying your food or your pastries or anything, we'll have screens that will help you donate to Asheville, North Carolina Relief. And we're going to send it directly to our sister church, who at their Greek festival was supposed to be the day that the hurricane hit. Oh. And they had all of their food bought, paid for, and sitting on property. So what they did was I think the most Christian thing in the world. They fired the girls up, got everybody together, put it on social media. If you can get here, we will feed you for free. So they fed their community with the money and the food that they had already paid for. And I will tell you, I know how much, Dino and I both know how much they spent on the P&G truck that's out there that was refrigerated, that they had to keep going. And they did the most Christian thing in the world. So we want to come back and help them out. So we're going to have some hurricane relief opportunities at the Greek Festival to raise funds to send right to them. We're trying not to go through any intermediaries, so that way they get 100% of the proceeds. So
wonderful. And awesome. Thank you for reemphasizing that component. Another, cherry on top to what you guys do is the give back. And being that I served on Family Promise, the board, we are always a thankful recipient of your donations, as I'm sure all of the other nonprofits are. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us on Forsyth Business RadioX. Dino, how can folks find you once again?
So the restaurant is Giorgio's Family Kitchen, and it's eatatgiorgios.com, and we're located at 558 Lakeland Plaza in the shopping center.
And they have the best wings. Costa, one more time for the festival.
2-for-1 pizzas, too. Buy one, get one free pizzas always.
BOGO?
It's literally...
Where have you been all my life?
Let me tell you right now, I don't put you can't account for people's taste buds, but when it comes to pizza... I'll bet the house. Okay, well, this is where you and I will become friends. Let's go. Or not. Do you put pineapple on pizza? If you're paying for it. If you want pineapple on it, I will put pineapple on your pizza. I like pineapple, banana peppers, and pepperoni is my favorite. That's a solid combination. Yeah, I got the salty, got the tangy, got the sweet. And it's buy one, get one free. So if the person that you're sharing doesn't like those, they get their own pizza. They can have whatever they want. I'm sold. Thanks, Dino. Costa.
So yes, you can look me up on, I'm a Prudential financial advisor, and it's, my middle name is what I go by a lot. It's Fred Bozzuto, which is interesting for people when it's Costa Fred Bozzuto. And yes, don't forget CummingGreekFestival.com for what we do. But we really appreciate the opportunity to talk to your listeners and really get the word out. And I want to just say a special thanks to Giorgio's Restaurant off of Exit 14 off of 400, because without them, this festival does not happen. And the quality of our food is due to the meticulous nature of not just Dino, but his dad, his mom, his wife. They all work tirelessly in our kitchen, and I can't give enough gratitude to what they do.
I'm blushing. That's so nice.
You heard it.
Thank you so much.
The Georges family. Shout out to the Georges family. Well, I'm excited to have met you today, Dino. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Costa, thank you for joining us year over year. I'm glad to partner with you guys. And for all of you out there listening, we hope to see you in October the 18th, 19th, or 20th. Thank you all for listening. If you'd like to connect with me, you can visit amandapirch.com. And until next time, this is Forsyth Business Radio on Business RadioX.